Hey General Hospital fans, it is time for your weekly prediction edition. And this week we are going all in. We are talking about Sunny finally getting a lead that could change everything in the Sidwell war. Plus, Jason's cover might be more shredded than any of us expected. And Carly, oh honey, she is about to walk right into a trap she doesn't even see coming. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we have got predictions for Sunny and Jason, for Carly and Drew, for Brooklyn and Chase, for Ava and Nina, and also for the big Sidwell showdown that has been building for weeks now. Before we get into it though, please click subscribe if you haven't already. You do not want to miss a single one of these prediction episodes because we are always on point. And now let's get into our very first prediction. Prediction number 1. Jason's cover is in serious trouble. So Monday spoilers have Jason navigating a very dangerous situation, and by Tuesday, someone close to him starts asking questions he cannot answer. Wednesday, there's a confrontation that has been a long time coming. And by Thursday, Sunny is in the dark about something critical, and that is a very bad place for Sunny Corinthos to be. Now here is the thing, we have known for a while now that Jason has been playing a deep game. He has been working angles inside Sidwell's operation, trying to get intel and feed it back to the right people. But the problem is, the more embedded he gets, the more dangerous his double life becomes. And right now, several people are tugging at the same loose thread. Sidwell is not stupid. He has survived this long in the criminal world by trusting his gut, and his gut is starting to twitch when it comes to Jason. Now, remember what happened a few weeks back when Jason was almost caught in that warehouse meeting? He barely slipped out of that one. And the people around Sidwell, particularly that inner circle of his, they are keeping detailed mental notes. Every time Jason disappears for too long, every time he gives a vague answer, every time he can't be reached, it's being logged in someone's head. And at some point, probably this week, one of those people is going to stop being politely suspicious and start being actively dangerous. Now, here's what makes this even more complicated. Sunny doesn't have the full picture on what Jason is doing. They have been operating on a need-to-know basis, and that means there are gaps. Big gaps. And when Sunny figures out that Jason has been keeping things from him, even for good reason, that is going to create a fracture in their relationship that Sidwell could absolutely exploit. Because if Sunny doubts Jason for even 5 minutes, that is 5 minutes Sidwell can use. I think by the end of this week, Jason is going to have to make a very hard choice between blowing his cover to protect someone he loves or staying dark and letting that person walk into danger alone. And knowing Jason Morgan, this is going to be absolutely brutal to watch. Prediction number 2. Carly walks into Sidwell's trap and Drew cannot stop her. Tuesday spoilers have Carly making a bold move. And by Wednesday, Drew is desperate to talk her out of something. Thursday, there is a near miss that will have fans screaming at their televisions. Now, Carly has been in Mama Bear mode since all of this started. She is furious, she is scared, and she is done sitting on the sidelines. And that combination, Carly Corinthos when she is furious and scared and done waiting, that is a recipe for spectacular chaos. She is going to go after something this week. Whether it's information, leverage, or just trying to get ahead of Sidwell by making a bold play, Carly is going to move without thinking it all the way through. And Drew knows her better than almost anyone at this point. He is going to see it coming from a mile away. He is going to try to talk her down. And we all know how well that works with Carly. About as well as trying to talk down a freight train. She hears him out, maybe she even pretends to agree. And then she does exactly what she planned to do anyway. That is Carly Corinthos. She has been that woman her entire time on this show, and I love her for it, even when it makes me want to throw something at the screen. Now here is where it gets dangerous. Sidwell's people have been watching Carly. That is not a coincidence or a paranoid theory. There have been too many near misses lately for it to be random. Someone in Sidwell's orbit knows that going after Carly is the fastest way to destabilize Sunny, Jason, and Drew all at once. And this week I think Carly is going to give them the opening they have been waiting for. The near miss on Thursday. That is not going to be something small. That is going to be a moment where the audience collectively holds their breath. And Drew is going to be the one who has to pull her back from the edge. And whether he is fast enough, well, that is the question, isn't it? Prediction number 3. Brooklyn gets cornered and Chase starts connecting the dots. So Monday, General Hospital spoilers have Brooke Lynn looking rattled after a conversation she didn't see coming. By Wednesday, Chase notices something is off and he starts asking questions. And by Friday, there is a tense moment between them where Brooke Lynn is going to have to either come clean or double down on the lie. And we all know which direction she is probably going to lean. Now here is where things stand. Chase is a smart man. He is a detective first and foremost. He notices things that other people don't notice. He files things away. And he has been quietly filing away little inconsistencies in Brooke Lynn's behavior for weeks now. The car door rattling. That detail Michael overheard from Tracy. That is the kind of thing Chase would absolutely zero in on if it got back to him. Because Chase was at that accident scene. He knows what Jordan's car looked like. He knows the details of the case. And if someone, let's say Michael, in his very calculated, manipulative way drops just the right hint in just the right direction, Chase is going to start pulling that thread. And once Chase starts pulling a thread, he does not stop. That is what makes him dangerous to Brooke Lynn right now, and honestly, that is what makes the storyline so compelling to watch. Now, Brooke Lynn is in an impossible position. She knows that if Chase finds out the truth, that she was the other driver, that she let Isaiah get accused and attacked, that she has been lying to his face while he has been standing by her as her partner and her person, she knows he is going to be devastated. Not just hurt, devastated. Because Chase's whole identity is built on justice and honesty. He left the PCPD over a matter of principle. He walked away from things he cared about because he couldn't stomach the compromises. Finding out that the woman he loves has been living a lie right next to him. That is going to shatter something in him. Michael knows all of this. That is why Michael is doing what he is doing. He is not trying to hurt Brooke Lynn for the sake of it. Well, okay, maybe a little, but his primary goal is to take the kids, and removing Brooke Lynn from power and from Chase is the fastest path. So I think this week we are going to see Michael start his precision strike campaign on Chase. He is not going to come right out and say it. Michael is too smart for that. He is going to plant seeds. He is going to say things like, "Have you ever wondered about the timeline?" Or, "It's just weird that nobody ever found the other driver." Just enough to get Chase's detective brain spinning. And then Chase is going to do all the work himself. Which is honestly the most Michael Corinthos move there is. Get someone else to do the dirty work while he keeps his hands clean. Prediction number 4. Ava makes a power play that Nina absolutely does not see coming. Thursday spoilers have Ava in a very interesting position, and by Friday, Nina is going to be on the defensive in a way that is going to be deeply uncomfortable for her. Now, Ava Jerome has been in survival mode for a while, but this week I think she shifts into something different. She shifts into offense. And Ava on offense is one of the most delicious things this show has to offer because she is tactical, she is cold, and she is absolutely ruthless when she needs to be. So here's what I think is happening. Ava has been gathering information quietly. That is what Ava does. She collects leverage the way other people collect shoes. She doesn't use it right away. She waits until the perfect moment. And I think Nina has something that Ava wants, or Nina knows something, or Nina is positioned in a way that is blocking something Ava needs. And so Ava is going to come at her. Not with screaming and drama, because that is not Ava's style when she is being strategic. She is going to come at Nina with that cold, calm, steel-eyed energy that she does so well. The smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. The perfectly composed threat that sounds like a polite conversation if you weren't listening carefully. Now Nina is not helpless. Nina has her own arsenal. But Nina's weakness has always been that she leads with her emotions. When she is threatened, she gets defensive and emotional, and that clouds her judgment. Ava knows this and she is going to exploit it. I think by the end of Friday, Nina is going to be in a position where she either has to give Ava what she wants or face consequences that she is genuinely not prepared for. And honestly, I am here for every second of it. These two women going head-to-head is the kind of veteran actress showdown that General Hospital does better than anybody in daytime. Let them cook. Prediction number 5. Sidwell hits his absolute breaking point and someone is going to pay for it. Monday spoilers have Sidwell in a meeting that goes sideways fast. By Tuesday, he is blindsided by something he did not see coming. And I think that blindside is related to the deception contract situation. By Wednesday, Sunny is making moves, and by Friday, someone in Sidwell's orbit ends up in serious danger. Now let's talk about the pressure that is building on Sidwell, because it is coming from every direction right now and it is absolutely extraordinary. First, the deception contract situation. Tracy wants him gone. Lucy wants him gone. They have gone to Rick to figure out how to legally remove Sidwell from his deception stake. And if Rick serves him notice this week, that is a significant financial and strategic blow to Sidwell. That operation was giving him legitimate cover and access. Losing it is not just a business setback, it is an exposure risk. Means one of his shields goes away. Second, Brit is gone. The prototype is not complete. Marco is dead. And as far as Sidwell knows, Marco's killer has faced absolutely zero consequences. That is eating at him. Sidwell, for all his villainy, genuinely loved his son. Marco was his. And the grief of that, combined with the rage of feeling like nobody is paying for it, is fermenting into something really, really dark inside of Sidwell right now. He is not grieving quietly and privately the way a normal person might. He is a crime boss. He grieves through violence and retribution. And the retribution he wants hasn't come yet, which means the pressure keeps building. Third, the Jack Brennan situation. Sidwell thinks he has Jack locked in. And I mean that literally, locked-in syndrome, cognitively gone, no longer a threat. Except Jack is faking. Jack is completely aware and he is biding his time. And Sidwell is operating with dangerously false information. He thinks one threat is neutralized when it is very much not. That is the kind of thing that tends to blow up spectacularly on this show. And then on top of all of that, he wants Drew dead, and Will is being problematic, and Sunny and Laura are actively working to take him down, and now there are cracks appearing in his operation from multiple directions simultaneously. Sidwell is a man who has stayed on top by controlling everything around him. And right now, he is losing control of the narrative on multiple fronts at once. That is the kind of thing that makes a man like Sidwell stop thinking strategically and start reacting emotionally. And a Sidwell who is reacting instead of planning. That is when he becomes truly dangerous. Not in the controlled, calculated way he usually operates. In the wild, explosive, someone is going to get hurt way. I think this week we are going to see Sidwell do something that cannot be taken back. Whether it is an attack on someone unexpected, a rash decision that blows up one of his own operations, or a confrontation that spirals out of control. I think Sidwell is about to have his true villain moment. The one where the audience gasps. Because all shows like this have that moment where the big bad stops being a chess player and becomes a wrecking ball. And I think we are right there. Right at the precipice of that moment for Jens Sidwell. Now what would really help, and this is me projecting a little because I desperately want this scene, is if Lucas finally tells Sidwell the truth. That it was Cullum who killed Marco. That Sidwell has been blaming the wrong people this whole time. Because if that information gets to Sidwell, he is going to turn his entire machine on the WSB boss. And that is going to be spectacular television. Sidwell going after Cullum with everything he has would shake up every single ongoing story simultaneously. It would put Anna in danger. It would put Laura in danger. It would force Sunny and Jason to decide whether to let their enemy do their dirty work or stop him and risk losing the advantage. That is rich, complicated drama, and I am obsessed with the possibility of it happening. Plus, and I mention this because I stand by it, if Sidwell could relieve some of that tension in other ways, maybe through a surprisingly complicated dynamic with Ava, I would not be mad about it. Ava and Sidwell sharing scenes would be so interesting because they are both survivors, both manipulators, and both operating in morally gray territory. The chemistry of two people like that circling each other. General Hospital has a history of making those kinds of unexpected pairings work. I'm just saying. The writers should consider it. Alright everybody, that is our 5 predictions for the week, and honestly this is shaping up to be one of those weeks where every single episode has something worth talking about. We have got Jason's cover unraveling, Carly making dangerous moves, Chase getting closer to the truth about Brooklyn, Ava going on offense against Nina, and Sidwell at his absolute boiling point. Any one of those threads could explode this week and we might be watching all 5 of them blow up at the same time. That is General Hospital doing what it does best. Stacking storylines until the whole thing is about to collapse and then watching the fireworks. As always, let us know in the comments which prediction you think is most likely to come true and which one you are most hoping for. Because sometimes those are very different answers, and that is what makes this fandom so fun. And if you have intel, if you have seen something or heard something or spotted a spoiler we have not talked about, drop it in the comments because we love hearing from you. Thank you so much for being a loyal listener and a loyal fan. Make sure you follow Soap Dirt wherever you get your podcasts because we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all the major platforms. Hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, and we will see you in the next episode. Do not miss it.